So, yeah, we've talked about the innovations, some of them started, certainly talked about the need and the urgency. We've talked about some of the stories, the storytelling. We've talked about the opportunities that we want to make available. A few months ago, I was out on the West Coast at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies in Monterey, California, and we were listening to a presentation there of two former students who'd moved off to another part of the world to do something very dramatic, very innovative, with a pretty basic technology, with people who can't take fresh produce and good food for granted. They're working with indigenous communities, and they're making opportunities available to other students to come and work with them, and this is going to be one of our opportunities for you if you're interested. Anybody want to go to Peru? We can arrange that, maybe. But I'd like to introduce them to you now. They're Adam Stieglitz and Aaron Ebner, co-founders of the Andean Alliance for Sustainable Development. They work with communities, as I say, at 10 and 14,000 feet. Anybody been to Peru in the Andes? All right? It's amazing space. So guys, welcome. Welcome to you.
Thanks, Frank.
Great to see you.
Good to see you.
And they came to Peru, and thanks to Middlebury for helping to fund that so that you could be here today. It's all yours.
Buenos dias. Our organization has a farm in the Peruvian Andes. For the last 4 years, I've been running that farm. Now, at our farm, among other things, we grow quinoa. We grow it the same way our neighbors grow it, and we grow it the same way their ancestors have been growing it for hundreds of years. Now, this year and last year, the rains haven't come, and we need to irrigate our quinoa. Behind our farm is an 800-year-old Inca canal, and it feeds water to my community. This canal comes from a glacier, and this glacier is disappearing. This is a problem for our community, and we need to adapt to this problem and find a solution. But what I know is that this solution is not going to come from a big NGO, and it's not going to come from some global solution. It's going to come from my community working together, harnessing our strengths, and dealing with this problem.
My name is Adam Stieglitz, and I am a founder of the Andean Alliance for Sustainable Development.
And my name is Aaron Ebner, and I am also a founder of the Andean Alliance for Sustainable Development.
Our mission is to harness the collective intelligence to support community-led development in the Andes of Peru.
Now, let me tell you a little bit about where we live in Peru. In one word, the climate is harsh. The air is thin, and it's cold, and at altitudes between 10 and 15,000 feet, there's not a whole lot that grows. The people are amazing, and it's a beautiful place, but the climate is harsh. Now, in 2005, I came to Peru to work for a small education-based NGO. I was a lot less bald back then. I was in a high-altitude remote community called Pampa Coral, and I met a really inspiring professor named Freddie Nunez. And Freddie told me about his community and the challenges, how they wanted to build a greenhouse to produce vegetables at a high altitude to put in the school lunches of the students. And he asked me to be a part of that. I looked at Freddie and I told him, I'll think about it. Now, I did think about it, and in 2009, I brought this challenge to my peers at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey, or what we call MISS.
So in 2009, I also enrolled at MISS as a student of international development. And one sunny California afternoon, Aaron and I found ourselves drinking a couple cold soft drinks.
Nice.
And he was telling me about the conversations that he had been having with Freddie and Pampa Coral. He asked me if I wanted to get on board, and I told him I was in. Now, as students of development studies, we constantly found ourselves having conversations about why development interventions were always failing. I mean, we even saw it firsthand in Peru. Greenhouses abandoned, not a single vegetable growing inside. We knew that this simple technology worked, so why was it failing? Well, here's what we found. We found that development organizations approach these projects from a perspective that really focused on the weaknesses of a community. They chose not to acknowledge or build upon the strengths of the people that they were working with. They came into these communities with their own version for what they saw as a solution to a challenge that wasn't even theirs, and they always remained accountable to their funders and timelines instead of the actual needs of the community. In summary, the reason that these development projects fail is because they're designed around top-down approaches. And as students, we committed ourselves to challenging that approach, and that when working with Pampa Corral, we were going to highlight the strengths of the community. In order to do this, we recruited 15 of our colleagues to come down to Peru and help us with this project. We called that group Team Peru.
Now, we came down to Peru to build a greenhouse, but we didn't do that. The community did. In Andean communities, they have a really unique way of working together. It's called faina, and they wanted to use this strategy to design and implement their project. They built every brick, they hand dug the foundation, and they even convinced the government to provide plastic and transportation. Now, what we did is we combined the strengths of our students, the grad students, organizational skills, research skills, and design skills with the strengths of indigenous communities in Peru, which are communal work, farming expertise, and ecological design. We combined these strengths and we built a greenhouse, but we didn't know if it was going to work. We'd seen so many projects fail. Now, after a semester of reflecting and building Team Peru, we came down with a new group of students, and we really couldn't believe our eyes. The community, the kids, were taking care of this greenhouse, and it was pumping out vegetables. The project in Pampa Corral, now 6 years later, the project in Pampa Corral is successful, and our other projects are successful for 2 reasons. The first reason is that we focused on relationships. We've immersed ourselves in these communities for years to build trusting relationships. Maybe we immersed ourselves too much. But we held ourselves accountable to the community's needs, and we respected their rhythm and their development process. Second reason is we focused on community strengths. Andean communities, the people in these communities are amazing farmers, they're amazing producers, they work in a unique communal fashion, they use resources very ecologically, and we use these strengths to create impactful projects. Now, the idea that impoverished communities have the capacity to address their own challenges and create solutions is actually innovative in the world of international development. Projects that are driven by local actors utilizing local strengths and resources are cheaper, more impactful, and sustainable. Now, from our experience in Peru and our studies in international development, we believe that global problems need local solutions. We do face global problems, but we need to stop searching for a one-size-fits-all strategy to addressing this. We believe that the global solution is a united world of empowered communities.
So where are we today? As of this year, we've partnered with 6 other communities, such as Pampa Corral, and supported them to build 12 school greenhouses. Over 800 students are eating fresh vegetables as part of their school lunch program every single day. These greenhouses let communities and schools in this region grow vegetables where vegetables simply should not be able to grow. They're cheap, they're built using local resources, and most importantly, they're run by the community. Now, we're not a big organization, and we certainly do not have deep pockets. However, these projects are successful. They've even attracted the attention of the United Nations, the FAO, and it's starting to influence how they design the National School Lunch Program in Peru. In 2009, we started the group Team Peru as a way for us as students to challenge conventional development and really have an impact in this world. We're proud of what we've done in Peru up until now, but what we're most proud of is that it's been done by intelligent, innovative students like many of you who are here today.
Now, when we heard about Planet Forward, we felt like there was a really inspiring movement taking place. And the idea that 14 universities are coming together to form this consortium is amazing. But what is a consortium? A consortium is an association of 2 or more individuals or organizations coming together with the objective of participating in a common activity or pooling their resources to accomplish a common goal. This last part is really important to us. And we feel like the students here today in this consortium and our generation is going to challenge the way we do things and create real change. So we want you guys to work with us in Peru. We also know there's storytellers out there. We want some of you to come to Peru and help tell the story of what's going on in these communities.
At the Andean Alliance for Sustainable Development, we want the most innovative, motivated students to come to our small part of the world and help us prove that we have a badass model, one that actually works. This is a model that proves that by harnessing the strengths of local communities, we can actually begin to address some of the world's most challenging problems, like climate change and food security. Like we said, Global challenges can only be solved by a united world of empowered communities. And we want to start with the Planet Forward community right here today. Thank you.
Guys, thank you very much. A couple questions before you go. So if anybody wants to come down to Peru, are you guys, you're going to be around? You want them to come up and talk to you? Do you want them to apply someplace? What's the drill?
Absolutely.
Come talk to us.
Yeah, come talk to us. We're going to work directly with different schools and students to cater experiences directly to the needs that they're looking for.
And they would come down and spend how much time with you in Peru? Or is it flexible? Or?
It's flexible, but it depends on what their skills are and what they're planning to do.
And what is your elevation above sea
We're at
level?
about, we live at about 10,000 feet, and the communities we're in are between 13 and 15,000.
Anybody interested? Anybody interested in Peru? Oh, awesome. Okay, great.
Yeah, definitely come talk to us afterwards.
And here's what I want you to do. I want you to go, if you go, and work with these guys, and then tell that story. Take these wonderful, beautiful, brilliant, poor people who are growing their food now, and make them characters so that that has an impact. Look at the project and tell its story. So I'm thrilled that you guys are here. You'll be at lunch and you'll be around, and I think there are a lot of people who want to talk to you. So thanks to Adam and Aaron. Guys, thanks.
Thank you.